Okay, so, well, good morning, Mr. Guo, and thank you for sparing the time to be with us today. Advanced manufacturing is a must nowadays for all industries that want to be competitive and yet maintain the quality production required by international markets. Ningbo has distinguished itself among many other cities in China for the reliability and quality standards of its manufacturing industries. We believe that Ningbo Intelligent Manufacturing Association has been playing an important role in building up this reputation. Can you give us a brief introduction of your association and tell us what services it offers?
Okay, Mr. Stephanie, thank you very much for making this interview. Well, online interview. This is the first time for me, a little bit nervous. Huh? The face make me more safe. Huh? This online and use the English for interview is for me is first time. Talking about Ningbo, and Ningbo has many of the top stories in the world. Maybe people, when we're talking about intelligent manufacturing, we know the why Ningbo more concentrate, more focus on the intelligence. And Ningbo is the largest seaport city in the world. Do you know this one? Ningbo have the Ningbo is very strong in private enterprise business in the China. This is one of our strengths. Let's see. Moving back for 30 years before, China just started to open door to the world. But at that time, central government selected 14 cities as the pilot testing. Ningbo is the region start from that. Let's see, Ningbo have many of the advantages. We are very close to Shanghai. In it's 100 years before, Ningbo already opened to the world. Ningbo industry compared with the whole nation, different cities, and the ranking in China, the position like in the 15, the whole China, compared with Shanghai, compared with Shenzhen, compared with Beijing, compared with Suzhou, yeah, Ningbo cities industry capabilities around 15. That means it's very important industry business cities. Okay. Maybe you know in Germany, one of the government approaching program very much influenced about China. We call Industry 4.0. This policy launched around in year 2013. And central government of Beijing, they want to promote China industry capability and launched a program year 2015. We call Making China 2025. This program name already changed. This is someone don't like it. We say we want to keep our advanced industry capability. For this reason, year 2016, we have six or 10 companies. We're sitting together. We found some associations to promote the region in Ningbo about intelligent manufacturing, or see smart factory. Up to now, our association has around 200 members. This member has three kind of groups. The functions. The first one is university and institute. Ningbo has more than 10 university and institute. This is important. This is for people education and training. We're talking about intelligence. Must have good people in right levels. The education is important. Education people. And another group of people is from the they call head of the industry company, meaningful they are leading industry. Like in Ningbo is called automobile industry is very strong in China. If you don't know that, there's a Ningbo in chemical engineer, chemical and oil refined business also top in China. We have some family electronic facilities, very strong, almost top in China. Such a we always have leading companies. We are sitting together talking about intelligence, talking about the smart factories. And the last group is this service group. The company, they need such kind of intelligent or smart or digital technology. They need some people provide support service. We call this company is like engineering service or engineering program service company. In total, we have 200 members. Not a big one, but those members are very interesting on the topic intelligent manufacturing. This is something the background.
This is very interesting. Yeah.
In year 2021, yes, the last year, Ningbo said industrial revenue is around 200 billion US dollar. 200 billion US dollar.
100 billion US dollar.
That's the reason, and our association interesting and focus on the topic and technology. In China, we traditional companies more than this is the base. We want to promote them to up level to the new levels and can maintain their competitive position. This is the background.
Yeah, I understand. Very interesting indeed. Thank you.